I had originally recorded an awesome sex toy video for this week, but it disappeared into the universe, so I'm going to talk about vaginas and stuff that comes out of them. So I want to address squirting and I want to address period sex in this video. I think that it's really important to be open and honest about vaginas and what they do and how gross they sometimes are, because a lot of women are shamed about their junk, and that is not on. So squirting. Squirting is when a female ejaculates. She expels fluid from her urethra. So this is the same hole as wee comes out of. And it is normally achieved with G-spot stimulation, although it can happen without. Some women squirt every time they come, some women never squirt, and some women only squirt in certain circumstances. I am the latter. I will squirt when I'm masturbating. I find it easier to make myself ejaculate when I'm masturbating. I can do it with a partner, but only in certain circumstances. So there are a ton of articles on the internet about how to find the G-spot and how to make a girl squirt. So if you're interested, go and look them up. There are a lot of good instructional, educational videos. But to be general, the G-spot is at the back of the vagina and it's kind of at the top. So if you're inserting your fingers into a vagina, palm up, if you kind of do that kind of motion, that's around the area of the G-spot. So the easiest way I find to ejaculate is if I'm laying flat on my back. That's the easiest way for me to reach an orgasm. It's flat on my back. And I have to time it right. So I have to have a clitoral orgasm and an internal orgasm around the same time, and that's the easiest way for me to ejaculate. So I find the bigger the toy I'm using, the easier it is. I guess internally I am, pretty bumpy in there, so that kind of helps to get to the area, I guess. So the bigger the toy, or if a partner is using kind of 3 or more fingers inside me, that is a surefire way to get the juices flowing. I can't believe I just said that. So experiment, if you want to learn how to squirt, Google some articles and, and experiment with different ways. But a lot of girls are super shy and super awkward about ejaculating, because when you're about to do it, it feels like you're going to pee. And naturally, it comes out of the same hole as pee. And if, fluid is moving through that tube, it's the same sensation. So a lot of girls will stop themselves because they think they're going to wee themselves. But you just got to let it go. And I think that some people get a bit funny, because sometimes when you squirt, it can have some same characteristics as urine. So sometimes it might smell a little bit like urine, and sometimes it might taste like urine. But again, it's coming out the same hole. And this is something that partners of mine have been self-conscious about in the past. And really, if you're going to go down in that general area, you've got to be prepared for a smell, a taste, to get pubes in your mouth. If you're willing to make a girl ejaculate, you've got to realize that sometimes you're going to get a mouthful or a faceful of something that smells like wee. And if you can't handle that, then you're probably not mature enough to be playing with a vagina in the first place. Period sex. Now, a lot of women get super horny when they have their period. And from my experience, quite a few guys are grossed out by period. And this is absolutely not acceptable as far as I'm concerned. Again, if you can't handle what sometimes comes out of vagina, you're probably not mature enough to be playing with one. Girls bleed out of their vagina every month or so. That is a fact of life. Women can't help it. They can't help having their period. The best thing a guy can be when a girl has her period is just normal. You know, if she gets period on the bed sheets, wash them. If she gets period on her knickers, put them in the laundry hamper for her. Like, just don't make it a big deal. It's only a bit of blood. You know, and I know that some guys get squeamish, you know, but fuck. Louis C.K., who is a comedian, once said something about young guys freaking out when their girl gets their period. And he's like, I'm 41 years old. Come around. I'll fuck you right in the period hole. Let's party. And I totally agree. You know, put a towel on the bed and fucking go to town. Like, who gives a fuck? Women are already made to feel super bad about their junk. You know, all porn that we view pretty much is airbrushed and edited, and we're taught that vagina should be this neat little hairless slit that doesn't smell, it doesn't have things hanging out of it, it tastes like roses. You know, we already feel bad enough about real vagina, the vagina that smells and the vagina that stuff comes out of. And we don't need guys making a big deal about something that's completely natural and okay. In saying that, there are guys out there who are completely okay with periods. Thank you to you, men. You know, I've had partners that fucking love periods and will, you know, go down on me when I've got my period. They'll fuck me when I've got my period, and that's awesome too, because I am one of those women that get super horny. I think that's about it for this week. I'm sorry if you have heard about my vagina and you didn't want to, or whatever. Next week I will come to you with a sex toy video, I promise. And in the meantime, if you've got any questions or topics, send them in. And I will see you next week. Have a good weekend.